Hello, my wonderful and lovely humans. So I'm coming at you live from my house. So you're probably gonna see my cats, okay? Anyways, let's get into it. So today you guys are doing the nitrogen cycle. You guys should have a diagram that's similar to this. Of course, you're not gonna have the green on it. Yours should be just black and white, but I've gone ahead and colored a little bit in here. And you're also gonna have this worksheet right here. It's got 9 questions on it, okay? So make sure that you have both of these so that you can start your assignment. Now, I have recorded this video, I kid you not, several times, like 4 or 5 maybe. So this is my last page, and I don't have a printer here at home. Well, I do have a printer, but I don't have ink because I'm broke. Anyways, this is my last shot. So we're gonna go with what we got, I guess. When I was doing those several times, I kind of realized that you guys should definitely be able to answer all of these questions by yourselves. So guess what I'm going to have you do? I'm going to have you answer these questions by yourself after we go through this diagram first. Okay, so we're going to go through this diagram, but this diagram is going to help you to fill out the questions here. Okay, now all of you, every single one of you, are required to color what I'm going to color on here. Okay, every single one of you needs to do it. So make sure that you have some colors. Go ahead and grab a pencil box if you need it. Yeah, just make sure that you put it back the correct way with all 3 items at the end of the class period. Okay. But anyways, if you guys would like to color in the rest of this diagram, I'm gonna make you a deal. I'm gonna give you extra credit either on the exam or on your poster project, whichever you need it more on. Okay, so the thing is, you will not be eligible for extra credit unless you turn in this assignment. Get it? Okay, so that means make sure that you prioritize this over coloring this pretty picture. Got it? Got it. Okay, but if you have time, go ahead and color it in, but only if you have time after you finish the assignment. Okay, all right, I'm flipping the camera. All right, so let's do this diagram really quickly. Okay, and the king is up on my table, so we will probably see him next. Okay, all right, so you guys are looking at the nitrogen cycle here. Well, before we move on ahead to that, let's talk, let's back up a little. Let's go back to macromolecules for a hot second, and let's talk about macromolecules. Boom. I spelled that really wrong. My bad. Okay, macromolecules. There are 1, 2, 3 macromolecules that we have discussed. Okay, number 1 is carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates, and this is also known as carbs. Okay, I go back and forth between the two, but I think you guys know that by now. The next one is going to be lipids. Okay, and lipids are more commonly known as fats, so I'm going to just write that underneath it since we're more familiar with carbs and fats. And the very last one, what is it, guys? Starts with P. I hope you guys said protein. Okay, the answer is protein. If you said it, great job. If not, well, now you know. Okay, so the last one that we discussed was protein. Each one of these macromolecules is going to be made of basically the same elements, except for one of them. Okay, so hold on. So the way that we remember which element makes up each one of these is we say cho, and chan. Okay, because what this is telling us, the C's here are telling us that it has carbon. So C equals carbon. Okay, our H's are telling us hydrogen. Okay, and our O is telling us oxygen. So we have these 3 elements in every single one of these. However, one is not like the other, and that is our protein right here. And he's not like the other ones because he's got this little extra N at the end. And that N is going to stand for nitrogen. All right. Now, these other 3 we can basically get out of our diet. However, well, we are capable of figuring out how to get this. However, nitrogen is one that is a little bit tricky. It's got its own thing going on here. So that's what we're discussing today, because remember, proteins are super important because they basically make up our entire bodies, like literally physically, right? Like they literally line our cells and allow things to pass through so we can feed ourselves, and they decide how we function and our hormones and this and that. Anyways, point is, proteins are super, super important. So how do we get this nitrogen into it if we can't really like find it out in nature super easily? Well, that's where our nitrogen cycle comes in. Okay, so now we've come back to the diagram. Now, don't forget, I need you guys to highlight things. Please highlight things, okay? All right, because I am going to, if you guys tell me, oh, miss, I didn't know how, okay, I'm gonna be a little annoyed because I like said it so many times. Okay, I'm done. All right, anyways, so we're gonna start over here with our little elephant, and guess what our little elephant's gonna do? He's gonna do is what he's gonna do. He do, okay, I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Anyways, he's gonna drop a deuce, and that deuce is gonna go into the ground, and it's gonna basically begin to decompose, okay? So that is gonna decompose into soil that is organic material, right? Well, there's another thing that our elephant can do for this system, and that other thing that it can do is basically die. I know that sounds so bad. But anyways, he can die, and again, his body will decompose into the soil, and whoop, there we go. It's going to decompose into the soil, and it becomes a part of the soil, basically. So we call this process decomposing. Decomposing. Please write this. So once again, it's going to decompose into the soil. It becomes kind of part of the soil here. Now, urine, one of the most like present molecules in urine is this ammonia stuff. And if you guys look at ammonia, the chemical makeup of ammonia, it says NH3, which means that this nitrogen in here is it's in our urine, apparently. Now, this is going to eventually, once it decays even further, it becomes this thing called a nitrite, okay? Nitrites. So you guys are going to need about 2 colors here. Okay, so it becomes a nitrite, and our nitrite, and yes, I do want you to write this. I'm going to write it up here on the top corner. But I'm going to make sure to use like 2 distinctly different colors. I think this will work. Okay, so a nitrite, okay, and I need to be really careful with what I'm saying, but nitrite is a form of nitrogen that is not usable. Okay, so basically what's happening here is the ammonia, once it decomposes further and it becomes a nitrite, while we do have nitrogen here, it is not something that we can as organisms take up. Now it's just in a form that we can't use. So what happens is it gets fed to these free living bacteria. And guess who can turn this into something that we can use? This free living bacteria right here. So this guy's really cool. We like him because, you know, he keeps us alive and he lets us build our bodies, basically. But anyways, we have some free living bacteria down here in our soil, and he is going to help us to break down this nitrite and release the nitrates that our plants do love and use. Okay, and the process of which these free living bacteria are doing this is called assimilation. Okay, assimilation is the process where free living bacteria take non-usable nitrogen, aka nitrites, and they eat it and they break it down into a nitrate, which can be used. Okay, can be used. So Again, I'm going to use a different color up here at the top. Nitrate. Okay. So nitrite versus nitrate. Nitrite is not usable. Nitrate is usable. A form of N that is usable. So we don't like. No, we do like. Okay. No, yes. So yes, no. Got it? I'm hoping this helps. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, no. No. Yes. Okay. No. Yes. Are you guys getting it? Like, I know I'm weird. It's like I'm almost more weird at home. Anyways, and like I'm totally talking to myself too, but like I'm also kind of like in my mind talking to you guys because like, oh my gosh. Anyways, I need to stop. It's too late. I need to go to bed. All right. So those nitrates can be used by our plants, and guess what? Our plants have these roots here, and the roots are rooted into the soil, and guess where the nitrates are? They're in the soil. So our roots are going to take up that nitrate, okay, and basically it fuels the plants that we now have. And who is going to eat our plants? Our elephant. So I'm just gonna like put a little bit of green in his belly because you know he ate it basically. So our elephant eats it, and guess who now has nitrogen? Our elephant has nitrogen. Oops, but he has a usable form of nitrogen. So I'm gonna use that usable form of nitrogen. There he is. So how do we get our nitrogen? Basically, an elephant is either going to poo, it's going to die. It's going to produce a product, basically, that is going to decompose into the soil and is going to end up as a form of nitrogen, aka nitrites, that is not usable. But some free living bacteria are going to come up. They're going to eat that, and they're going to poop it back out into a form of nitrogen that is usable. And I forgot an arrow. Sorry, guys. I got a little too excited. Okay. That is usable through a process that is called assimilation. And then our plants over here are going to take it up into their roots, and it's going to become a part of them. And who's going to come along and eat it? Our nice little herbivores over here. Okay. All right, so this is one process, but obviously there's a couple more here. However, those aren't super important, but I am going to go through them with you guys. Just, you know, kind of like pay attention, I guess. All right, so let's talk about these other ones. This is the main important one, okay? This is what I need you to know. These are maybe a little bit extra, you know, you guys are smarty pants, you can do it. All right, anyways, what we have over here is lightning striking our ground. And what's going to happen is rainwater is going to be dissolved with nitrates, and that is going to once again become a part of the soil that's down here. Now, nitrates, remember, nitrates are usable. We like these nitrates. So, hold on, let me get, there it is. Nitrates, we do like this. This is our usable form of nitrates. And so we don't have to go through our free living bacteria like we did with the other process. But basically we're going to have the same result. It's going to make its way back up into the plants. And again, our elephant's going to come along and he's going to eat it. And, oh, wait, yep. And then basically this is how we get our nitrogen back into our systems. Okay, here's another one over here on the right side. Let's see. I'm looking for a color I haven't used yet. Ooh, purple. We like purple. Okay, so we have a couple ones over here. All right, so over here we have nitrogen gas that is in our atmosphere. That means it's up in the air, basically. How can we get it if it's up in the air, right? Plants can't use it. They don't breathe it in or anything. So let's follow the arrows. Boom. Okay, so basically we are going to have some symbiotic bacteria that is living on our plant roots and nodules. And I'm just gonna like let you know that question number 5 is gonna come to this question right here. Question number 5. Let me get, okay, so I have like a gray pen. I guess I'll use a gray pen. Okay, so think about question number 5 when you guys get here, okay? Anyways, so we have some symbiotic bacteria that are living on plant roots, okay? And this symbiotic bacteria is basically similar to the bacteria that's over here. It's able to convert the unusable nitrogen, and it is able to turn it into a usable form. So again, this form up here is not usable. So I guess let me put the X over here, okay? Not usable, but over here it is usable, okay? All right, and let's see, we have, I believe, ooh, we got 2 more. Ooh, again, you guys don't have to do this part. I really only care that you guys did this main part. I'm just going over it because, I mean, you guys deserve to know. You guys deserve to be smarties. You are smarties. Okay, I found another color. Alrighty, so another way that we can do this. Oh no, wait, it's the same thing. Okay, so it could be either free living bacteria. Okay, you know what? That's gonna be purple too. That's basically the same thing. Okay, see, I didn't make it this far in my other videos, so like you guys are getting like the brunt of it. All right, so over here we got our free living bacteria, same thing, same guys as over here. And again, through the process of assimilation, our plants are able to take it up into the roots, and our elephant is able to eat the plants that have the nitrogen, and now we have nitrogen back in our elephant happy bellies. Okay, so now we can finally look at the last one over here, and that is this denitrifying bacteria. Guess what it does? It denitrifies. Denitritifies. Got it? Denitrify, nitrate. Okay. So he's going to use this unusable form of, so wait, let me mark that up as unusable. Oh wait, that was the blue one. My bad. It's going to take this unusable form of nitrogen, both unusable forms, and again, he's going to poop it out. It's like the same thing, I guess. Awkward. Boom. Okay. Yeah. So he's able to, yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the nitrogen cycle, guys. All right, cool. So you guys should be able to answer these questions pretty easily by looking at this. Like honestly, put your finger on these points, okay? And like talk through it, okay? Like you just have to follow the arrows and remember all these like words and check marks that we wrote down. So make sure that you're following, okay? When you're answering these questions. Don't forget that over here, this one might be useful to understanding question number 5. Actually, you know what? That is one question I will go over with you guys. Okay, so we're going to jump over to question number 5. In Indiana and Illinois, the 2 most common crops grown are corn and soybeans. Corn is a crop that depletes the soil of nitrogen. So if it depletes the soil of nitrogen, it means it is taking out the nitrogen. Soybeans are a crop that have symbiotic bacteria living on their roots. So how could farmers use this knowledge when they plan out their crops from one year to the next? So all I want you guys to do is to write 1 or 2 sentences here to answer the question, but I am going to draw you guys a little picture to maybe help you guys answer that. Okay, so let's pretend we're over here on Rancho Reyes. Okay, we're over here at Rancho Reyes, and on one plot of my land, I've got 2 plots of land. One has corn and one has soybeans. All right, so what this question is saying is that in year 1, I have it set up like this. Okay, so year 1. Okay, in year 1, this is how I have my plants planted, I guess. Corn is going to remove N. Okay, but the soybeans are going to put in the nitrogen, okay? So during year 2, okay, for year 2, for year number 2, basically what I'm going to ask you guys is, what do you guys think that we should do with these crops? What do you think that we should do with these crops to basically resolve this lack of nitrogen and this extra nitrogen in the soil between years 1 and years 2? Okay, that is the question that's being asked here. So go back to question number 5. Okay, and maybe use this diagram as to help you to answer that question. Okay. Alrighty, there's just a couple more things that I want to point out to you guys, and that is basically, don't forget that question number 2 requires something. It doesn't have a line next to it, but it still requires that you do something in your diagram. Question number 9 is similar in that it asks you to do something. However, it doesn't have like a space for you to write it on here because it has to be done over here on this page. All right, so just don't forget to do those 2. But you guys are supposed to answer all the rest of these questions. When you guys are done, I want this page turned in. This page can go ahead and get glued into your notebook, and I'm sure I will have told you guys exactly what page that is tomorrow. So yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got for you tonight. Have a great day. Take care. Be safe. Bye.